And we are
just can't be
live.
Oh, I guess we're going to talk about that now.
Oh, do we have to talk about something off air for a second?
Oh, we could talk about it on air. Yeah,
All right.
Good.
I got to turn on my computer. So we actually, hopefully we have audio. Yeah, we do. Looks like. We actually got started on time this week, which is very surprising because. Oh,
Okay.
All right. Sorry, guys. I thought we just lost
was-
all of our video, but we didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are live on all three
So-
platforms.
Truck backfire.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Or fireworks, that 10th of February fireworks.
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully it's not a satellite.
so we should have started late today because I got here 5 minutes ago,
Not even.
but we started on time, which means we never have an excuse ever in the future to start late,
You get here 3 minutes before time.
because I literally just turned on my laptop after we started the stream.
Cool. We only got 9 interesting topics.
Are they all actually interesting though?
No, not close. Most of them were yours.
Can we make them interesting?
Probably.
Sweet.
We're going to skip the first one because it's probably not a talking topic. I just wanted you to see it.
Oh, let me see.
We're not going to talk about it because it's pretty terrible.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
I don't think I thought it was as terrible as you did, but we can talk about it after the stream.
How far did you get through it?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, see. It says terrible.
Oh, and if you hear any high pitched whirring,
We got
or
R2D2.
if the camera is vibrating, we have a 3D printer running, and you'll never believe what it's printing off.
Never believe it.
I also have no idea what it's printing off. Like I said, I just got here.
Yep. You got to trust what the print will be.
But you know what you don't have to trust?
Apple.
You don't have to blindly trust Google Maps. So last week we talked about an article where this artist guy took 99 phones connected to Google Maps. Wow, that is super loud.
It is great. They
He
can't
took-
hear it.
He took 99 smartphones connected to Google Maps, threw them in a wagon, and pulled this wagon along the streets of his town. And as he was pulling this wagon of phones along the streets in his town, Google Maps rendered a traffic jam where all these phones were in his little town. Because Google Maps saw that there were a lot of people driving through this place. Too many cars to fit. So they thought it was a traffic jam.
So would it be a traffic hack if you just put 100 phones in your car so Google would reroute everyone else around you?
Well, the problem is you need to sync it up with your coworkers. So you have one coworker who leaves, 15 minutes early with 99 phones in their car.
Oh,
and
then
they go
all
down the route.
other people-
And then everyone else gets rerouted around them. And then after that, 15 minutes later, everyone else leaves your office following the no traffic route. Yeah, because if you do it yourself,
That's
you might
true,
not
yeah.
have a lot of traffic behind you.
Yeah.
But you
Fair
just gotta schedule it out through the week. Different coworkers take the phones, one day.
Yeah. It's your turn to sit in traffic.
Anyway, all that to say, the point was, don't blindly trust Google Maps because it can be hacked, it can be wrong, it can be played around with. And here's another example of why you should not blindly trust Google Maps. There's a man who says he fell through a frozen river because of Google Maps directions. Probably if Google Maps is telling you to drive through a river or over ice,
No, it's this last paragraph right here.
maybe don't.
The man told the Minneapolis Minneapolis Fire Department Google Maps directed him across at that location. Fire officials said the directions were likely for the crossing at the bridge, not walking across the river.
And then the last sentence, the man is recovering from a mild case of hypothermia.
Do you think the hypothermia would teach him a lesson? That he should take the bridge?
No. Yeah. So for me, well, actually, funny story. The first time I ever followed a Google Maps was in this neighborhood, leaving the house, going to somewhere that I go regularly often, but I just got my phone, wanted to follow Google Maps.
Yeah.
And Google Maps took me in a circle around the block, past the house, and then to where I was going.
Huh. Okay.
It must have been like the way I was backing out of the driveway or something. It thought I was traveling in one direction.
Yeah.
But
Mine, if I put in a location, because we live at a corner
yeah,
lot, It thinks that we're on the road that the driveway is not on, not the road that the
Gotcha.
driveway is on. And so as soon as I pull out of the driveway, it reroutes every time because it thinks that I'm on an entire different road.
What is your mailing address?
I'm not saying that one.
But no. Sorry. Is it on the road that your driveway's on, or is it on the road?
Oh, it is on the same.
Okay,
They
it's
are the
on.
same.
Okay, interesting.
You
Yeah,
almost
no.
got me. Oh, that was close.
Yes. So yeah, don't blindly trust Google Maps. Now, I still actually, when I drive to work every day, I check Google Maps.
Oh.
Not because I want to know how to get to work.
You have the little speed trap up there, so as soon as you see cops, you start
Well,
recording
not
them?
really the speed traps necessarily. I do report a speed trap though if I see it on Google Maps. Yep, doing my piece of good. But I really just check it for, say, if there's an accident or they're doing construction along my route. So if there's a ton of construction in the way and traffic's going to be worse to go one route, I take the other route because they're about the same amount of time without traffic. Well, without traffic, they're not, but in the mornings, they're like pretty even, my two routes that I can take. So I check Google Maps just to see which one will be faster.
Yeah.
Depending on whether school's in or if construction's going or like just various things like that.
I get the benefit of never having to actually drive in traffic, which is a really big benefit of
Yeah, that's
the
true.
work. But one thing I've been using Google Maps for a lot recently is I'll have it up with no location set while I ride the motorcycle,
Okay.
and it pre-warns like your turnings. So like I can see up ahead it's a right blind turn, but I don't know how
What
far.
angle
Yeah.
and
And the
gotcha.
Maps doesn't do it the best,
Mhm.
but it's like, hey, you're gonna have a really big right turn.
Gotcha.
Or it's just a little one.
It's like you're a rally driver.
Yeah, kind of.
Right, 3 long.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
If
dude.
Google Maps
that would
could
be
have
sweet.
like a speed mode,
Yeah,
speed run,
yeah. Speed
Google
running
Maps
Google
speed
Maps. Live stream.
I bet you can make an.
Cops
Like
were
a-
called.
I bet you could do an add-on for Google Maps that would do that.
That would be very interesting.
It would be totally worth it. Gravel ahead.
If someone out there knows math, then maybe you can do that.
I didn't read this one because I thought it was interesting, and I assumed you read it.
I briefly read over it because I leave my charger plugged in all the time.
Yeah, me too. I leave multiple chargers plugged in. All the
And
time.
my charger, man, I have trouble believing that it uses any electricity when it's not charging.
So I can believe mine uses a little
Because yours has an LED,
because mine has an LED in it.
which I don't know. I haven't seen your charger, but you know,
Yeah,
obviously if it has an LED, it's using
a little.
some electricity, not much. So this article from over at ZDNet, who a couple weeks ago I said I hadn't heard of, but it turns out I'd probably heard of them before.
Yeah.
ZDNet did a study, or someone at ZDNet did a study, and had some kind of outlet, or not outlet, but some kind of device that plugs into the wall, and then you plug another device into it, so it tracks how much electricity the device plugged into it is using.
Yeah.
And they found that, let's see, I think they were using the latest iPhone charger, the official charger, or whatever you call it,
Yeah.
stock charger, a genuine Apple iPhone charger. And let's see, blah, blah, blah. They say, no surprise here, a smartphone charger consumes power even when it's not charging a smartphone. But how much power does it consume? According to this guy's tests, it uses in the region of 135 watts of power a month, which equates to just over 1.5 kilowatts a year. And he also prices out the price of electricity above.
So using 135 watts a month is like using one 60-watt light bulb for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
So higher up in this article, he goes over the pricing for electricity in different areas. In Hawaii, he found that in the United States, electricity was most expensive in Hawaii, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was cheapest in Louisiana. He said that if he lived in Hawaii, the charger would cost him 46 cents a year if left plugged in all the time doing nothing. And if he decided that was too expensive and decided to move to Louisiana, he'd save a quarter.
Yeah.
So it'd be like,
I like this next paragraph. If you have 10 chargers plugged in running 24/7, 365, it'll cost you about $2 a year on average.
or about $4.60 in Hawaiian big buck prices. So it doesn't take up a lot of electricity. But man, I just can't believe that my charger uses any electricity when it's plugged in.
So the capacitor has to stay charged, and it will trickle
Does it? Okay.
dead.
Okay, then it must.
But it's kind of like the same idea. I'm not
So is the capacitor there just to like kind of balance it out to make sure that the power coming in is more even?
smooth, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense then. Okay.
I think it's like a buck converter. I don't fully understand it. But
I
yeah,
gotcha.
it has to convert from the AC to DC, and then it sits there in little...
Gotcha. I guess I was
smooth it
thinking that
all.
more of the charging was done actually on the phone, but I guess the power is cleaned up by the charger before it actually gets put into the phone.
I think
if that
so,
makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. So my charger is using a little bit. And this article also said that non-genuine chargers also draw a lot more power. In this case, this guy says up to 10 or 20 times more power.
And that's believable. Just having lower quality parts.
And that does, yeah, and that
Having
does get
electrical
more
loss.
to a more significant price over a year. $10,
Yeah.
$20. Not terrible, but
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing I'd be curious on is how much it costs to have a wireless charger plugged in 24/7, 365.
That's true. And that brings up an interesting question. I bet you that takes up more power.
It should take up a ton more power.
Yeah. Now, you can still unplug your wireless
Yep.
charger, and then it will take up no
Zero.
power. So this was pretty interesting to me. A couple ways they suggested getting around this waste of electricity was that you can use a power cord with a switch.
Yep.
And that will cut it down to zero, assuming that you have a normal power cord.
Yeah. I don't know their official names. I call them like 6 strips or 8 strips.
Yeah. So
But yeah, there's little
they're
ones
like
with-
the ones with the short cable, and then
We're not power cord.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever these things are called.
yeah. So it's not necessarily a long cable, although I guess it could. And then it has the switch, which has an LED in it, so when it's turned on, it's using extra power. But
It balances out.
yeah, balances out. That's funny. But when you turn it off, it doesn't shoot out any power through those outlets. But one thing they also suggested in this article is to use a wireless outlet. So actually, let me grab one of
A
those.
wireless outlet. Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what you meant by a
Yeah,
wireless
I'm not
outlet.
totally stupid. Yeah, it's not.
I was blown away.
Yeah,
bro.
sorry guys.
Like,
I'm-
I have one.
A wireless outlet. Okay, yeah, I see how that sounds stupid. But what I mean by a wireless outlet is I mean an outlet, a smart outlet.
There we go.
That's the word for it.
I couldn't think of
So
it.
this outlet plugs into the wall, and then you plug something else into it. So say you plug your lamp in and you plug this into the wall. Then you have an app on your phone, and you can remotely turn on and off this outlet.
Yes.
And they suggested this as a way to turn off your charger when it's not in use.
No.
See, now here's the problem with that.
That saves the chargers using the power.
This is now
That's-
using electricity
It'll
to
use
stay connected
more.
to the Wi-Fi network. Yeah.
But if you have, like,
If
an
you do have
arbitrary number,
If you do have 1,000 chargers plugged in,
It will save
then
you
it will
money.
save you some electricity. Or if it's a lamp, I mean, I'm not saying that smart plugs don't have a use, but the use is not
to save electricity,
to save. Well, it could
their
be.
primary use, I don't think is.
I would say their primary use, not necessarily.
It's
Their primary use is convenience, but it could be used to save electricity. Like, you could set it to turn off all your lights at a certain time in case
Yep.
you forget to leave one on or something. But the primary use certainly isn't to save electricity from a charger, from a single charger. So I thought that was funny, but yeah, these things are pretty cool actually.
So a future tech idea to save the what was like $3 a year on
$2,
yes
unless you're in Hawaii.
unless you're in Hawaii. Yeah, $1.95 a year on average. When your phone plugs in, it sends a burst backwards of power, and that can trip a circuit to flip the charger on.
That's smart.
And then when you unplug it, because as soon as you unplug it, it will there'll be extra power that's stuck in there, and so that could be sent back.
That's brilliant, actually.
And then it would
Holy
reflip
cow.
it.
That's really smart. The only downside of that would be is
The
if
charger
you're
would be like $8 more extra bucks.
no, well, you'd have to use the charger for 5 years to make your
pay
money
it
back.
off.
The one downside of that would be if your phone is completely dead. Although I guess there's always a little bit of residual electricity in there.
There could be a button on
There could
the,
be a button on it too.
yeah,
Though. Yeah.
force it on.
Yeah.
But then
Wow.
you're talking about saving $2 a year, so.
Yeah. Now, if you have 100 of them, it might be worth. In that case, actually, it'd just be worth getting one of those 6 strips.
A couple of them.
The version without the light.
Yeah. Save that LED light.
Anyway, yeah, I thought that was super interesting. I especially thought the thing about the smart plug was
I don't even see.
was
That's
fire. Oh, this article. Yes. So when I think of satellite internet, I think of slow, latent, expensive, and probably with a bandwidth cap.
So do you think both slow and latent? Because those are two different things.
Yeah.
Okay,
Generally
you
when I
think
think
both?
of it. Yeah, generally when I think of it. Now, I haven't really done too much research into satellite internet, to be fair. But I have seen a lot of high latency stuff.
I could believe the high latency for gaming aspect latency.
Yeah, like I've heard in the range of 500 milliseconds.
Like to me because 500 milliseconds is plenty short to carry a conversation if you're doing a phone call over satellite internet.
It's good enough.
It's good enough.
Not
yeah.
great.
It's not fantastic.
Definitely for watching video, like that doesn't matter.
Yeah, movies,
For
Netflix,
web
some
browsing,
of that.
honestly, for web browsing, that can be kind of a pain, especially if you're loading a lot of pages. But it's not terrible. But for gaming, it's awful.
Yeah. I
So
believe that.
Starlink, which is SpaceX's satellite internet, or Elon Musk's space internet. Elon Musk tweeted, this was a long time ago actually, it was almost a year ago, that he is aiming for sub 20 millisecond latency initially, and then get down to sub 10 millisecond over time. And supposedly, from what I've looked at, people commenting about this, that actually should be achievable, because the speed of light is pretty dang fast. And supposedly these satellites are supposed to be a lot closer than a lot of other internet satellites.
Okay.
So I don't even remember what got me looking at this. It must have been some article I was reading about SpaceX or reading about satellite internet. But somehow I came across this tweet from almost a year ago. And I thought that that's definitely a good sign for...
Yeah, 20 milliseconds,
Starlink.
I think.
That's better than what I have. We have like 60 or 70 at home.
I don't know if... don't do find. Does it tell you your address on fast.com?
It probably tells you your IP address. Oh,
So this is the main download speed, and then we get the more options in a second. Oh, it's gonna be terrible because we're streaming.
true.
But that's not the point.
Yeah. But supposedly a lot of the latency in satellite internet has to do with the fact that the satellites are even further away, although that's a small percentage of what the latency actually comes from because the speed of light is so fast. But a lot of that latency is from the jumps from satellite to satellite, or the protocol, or I guess every time you jump to a different satellite or jump to a different data center or whatever it is, different routing center, it's using up CPU time. So
So my latency here is 12 milliseconds for unloading and 725 milliseconds for loading. But those internet speeds are because we are live streaming to a bajillion different places. Also known as 4 places.
So good news if you're banking on Starlink. And I didn't see what speed it was going to be as far as like download speed, upload speed. But if they're getting 20 millisecond latency,
It's not going to be
it's not going to be a big deal. Yeah. Because I think latency is the toughest part there. Man, another one of my complaints about the whole game streaming thing also is latency. But if they're getting 20 millisecond latency, then
Yeah.
would that be 40 millisecond latency on a game streaming? Wow, that's actually pretty viable. That'd be interesting.
You still crush people with your own computer though, versus having to.
Yeah, unless they're really good.
It's like a handicap.
It's a handicap.
Handicap. So, Bitcoin could benefit as internet in space becomes a reality.
Did you read this article?
I did not.
Uh-oh. We're in trouble. I saw the title and I had to add it because sure.
That's a short one.
It also mentions another company that's trying to get a lot more satellite internet called OneWeb. The company OneWeb launched 34 of its satellites last week. So hopefully that'll be competition for SpaceX, because I think competition is a good thing. It's good for SpaceX not to have a monopoly
Of space, yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to have so many satellites up there. I think they've already got more satellites than
Everyone else put together.
Yeah, which is insane. And this company is launching, each launch will contain 34 satellites. So SpaceX was launching
12,000.
They were doing like 60 a launch, right?
Yeah. The
So
agency granted SpaceX to send 12,000 Starlink satellites into space.
So this company is also launching a lot of satellites, but
And then they,
less than SpaceX does per launch.
yeah. And then apparently they've requested to approve 30,000 more satellites.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so far SpaceX only has 240 up.
Okay.
Only 240 satellites.
And then OneWeb says they plan to open for business in 2021, probably the end of 2021 if I had to guess. But we'll see. I feel like there was something else I found interesting in here. The Bitcoin thing, I honestly... Yeah, I don't think it really had any...
Yeah.
I didn't see... Oh, just because it will open up the technology to the entire planet because more people have internet.
Boo.
Whatever. I mean, it's... Sure. But yeah, hopefully SpaceX has some competition. Somewhere in there, I saw... Maybe it was on Wikipedia. I found the weights, like the size of the SpaceX.
Wow.
I think they were about 500 pounds each.
Well, that's actually really light for what I was thinking.
Yep, launch mass. So the mass on... I guess the mass doesn't change in space, but the weight does change. 500 pounds on Earth.
Okay.
500 to 573 pounds. It was a pretty interesting article. I'll actually add that to my YouTube description when I actually do that. But yeah. Starlink. It's the next big thing. Sponsor us. And I guess that can bring us to our sponsor spot.
Yay!
This video is sponsored by
Nephew Tech.
and Jmart Media.
You always make me say money.
JmartMedia.com.
NephewTech.com.
404.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, did you add something to your site?
Oh,
it's not a
it's still the
404.
same thing.
Oh, wait, I haven't seen that, I don't think. Can
Oh,
I
you
show
totally
it?
seen it.
Have I?
Yeah. I'm actually Nephew Tech.
Did you see that thing screaming across the sky? That's one of the Starlink satellites that's blocking out the astronomer's view. No, actually, it's a plane, but maybe so.
It might just be a few pixels.
Just the bad pixels on the camera that they took the picture with. Wow, we are super orange today. Even I'm looking kind of orange.
I look sunburned.
Maybe next week I'll get here a little bit earlier.
Yeah, maybe next week I'll have a camera.
Yeah.
Motorola's Razr fails a fold test just after 27,000 folds.
Yep.
How
So
many times have you folded your phone?
I think I sat on it a little hard once and folded it. No, I have not folded my phone. But I have cracked my screen.
Do you think if you had a flip phone, you would expect it to last longer than 27,000 folds?
If the company building it promised it would. I don't know. They do the math down here about halfway through the article. This article is from The Verge, of course. It says, if we make the assumption that a person checks their phone between 80 to 150 times a day.
Oh, here we go. I just Googled it. Those between the ages of 18 and 24 look at their phones most often, with an average of 74 checks per day.
Okay.
And then it all goes downhill from there. So 74 is like the highest average.
Okay. So this article seems to be overestimating it, although they link to another Verge article for Apple iPhones that says, I guess probably, I haven't looked at it, probably that people open it more, but
yeah,
I don't know.
The second result's 80.
Okay. So we'll say 80 is
80,
pretty reasonable.
So that's 80 folds per day.
And they say, assuming that the test by CNET wasn't flawed, like if the machine wasn't messing up the fold or something, then that would last between 6 and 12 months of use. So if we're going with the 80 estimate, then that'd be about 12 months of use, which is kind of short for a phone.
This is 27,000, right?
27,000.
Oh, my number lock's on. Oh, what?
Hold up, we're trying to do math over here.
It's on the time calculator. There we go. 27,000.
Time calculator.
Yeah.
Wow, Windows 10 features I didn't know I needed.
27,000 divided by 80 equals 337 days.
That's not a year.
That's almost a year.
Almost. Not quite a year.
It's a month shy.
But if you're spending $1,500 on a phone, how long do you want it to last?
So I spent $500 on a phone. I want it to last the next 20 years.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you had the money to spend $1,500 on a phone, you wouldn't care how long it lasted because you're getting a new one every year. No.
It's not wrong.
Although it's not wrong. Yep. So they used a fold bot made by the company Square Trade. And Motorola said that this folder is simply not designed to test their device. And then Motorola also posted a video of the real Razr flip test, which you can probably, yep. So there's the real flip test using the machine by Motorola. And I actually do like the way that that folds it because it literally just touches the top, opens, closes. Whereas the fold bot is a little bit different. I don't guess there's a...
I think that's the right design to use to test.
I agree that the article or the video by Motorola is the correct way to test it. But yeah, so Motorola is saying that the testing was flawed. And we can compare this to the Samsung Edge, which survived around 120,000 folds before its screen broke.
Now here's a curious one.
Although it still fell short of the 200,000 folds promised by Samsung.
These are perfect folds and unfolds. Perfect.
Yeah.
I would almost be happier if it was lifting it from one corner rather than the entire top.
Yeah, it is kind of a best case scenario.
So yeah, that's the best case scenario folding.
But at your top end estimate, I can kind of see using the best case scenario.
Yeah, because it has that little wire right there that
I think it's a plastic screen, like a plastic divider, almost like a piece of paper.
Oh, okay.
Because it looks like it's a little bit, maybe like a ribbon, maybe like a half inch wide.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I would take a bad test over a good test. I
believe that the issue was when it failed this test at 27,000 folds. It was something to do with it not being able to fully close the entire way. So it was actually something wrong with the hinge, not actually the screen. Whereas for Samsung, I don't know if it was the screen or the hinge.
Yeah.
But the fact that the screen can last that long is also impressive to me, because that was one of the things I was worried about.
I still don't think I would like the plastic screen, but I've never got to touch one yet.
True.
Just because I'm so used to
the glass, yeah.
Because I have a glass screen protector on here now because I couldn't stand the plastic screen protector.
Oh wow! So it's an actual glass.
Yeah, so it's a real
Okay, gotcha.
Protector.
Dang, that's cool.
It was like an extra $3, but
I have
totally
a
worth it.
tape screen protector.
The fanciest tape.
Yep. So I dropped my phone a couple months ago and landed right on the corner there and kind of cracked. So to prevent the glass falling off, naturally I threw some Scotch tape over it.
And just left it.
And still have the phone. If I had the money to spend $1,500 on a smartphone, I would
Every year?
yeah, I would probably buy a new one, but I really don't care, and I really don't have a big use for the phone anyway, so what the heck, it doesn't matter to me.
The one article I added this week.
Oh, yeah, you added 2. Although one is whoa. Oh yeah, I did see that other article. Oof, that's kind of creepy. Windows 7 PCs can't shut down or restart.
They just put the bugs in there at this point. Start with the wallpapers. And now you can't shut down or restart your computer. It's turning out fantastic end of life.
End of life.
There's 2 workarounds so far. You can create an entire new admin account, transfer your stuff over there, and then you're able to shut down. Or you could press Windows R to get the run dialog, do gpedit.msc, and go OK. That opens up your editor. I forgot which editor. And you go to configuration, Windows settings, local policies, security options. And then on the right side, you double click on the user account control. And then you run everything as administrators, and you say enable. And then you reopen the same window and do gp update/force, and then you're allowed to shut down. And if that sounds like a lot of steps to turn off your computer, because it is. Windows hasn't said anything about actually fixing our problem, so
they have no idea what's going on. You can bet they've got people looking at it. Right?
Well, that's a fix right there. It fixed it so you don't have to do it every time.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it is a permanent solution until Microsoft releases an update and breaks that too. But it just seems like Microsoft and Windows won't let Windows 7 die.
Maybe people will stop asking for them to continue it if they keep adding bugs. Maybe that's their master plan.
That's the master plan at the end of all this.
Yes.
And if we just make it so miserable, they have to leave us. I don't know if you want to talk about 9, so we're going to skip that one for a hot minute. Number 10. So, unless you have another interesting topic.
I'll add another. No, go. Let's talk about that one first while I'm adding another topic.
Cool. PC Gamer has an article up here. Breaking news. Animal Crossing music browser extension now adapts to local weather. So, I saw this, so I went ahead and installed the extension for one real reason. So that's what was playing when you walked in.
Okay, gotcha.
Was the Animal Crossing music extension plugin.
Have you
Chrome
played Animal Crossing?
I have. I actually kind of enjoy it.
Is that the game where it's kind of like The Sims, I guess?
It's a little bit like The Sims.
Okay.
Have you played Harvest Moon?
No.
Okay.
So it's like the world, right? And then you have these animals running around.
Yes.
And you can, I guess, probably buy things like you'd build a park.
It's kind of like The
unlock
Sims
new
with
animals.
like Playmobil figurines.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very relaxing, stress-free game. But the interesting part about this is that this plugin, hey, stop playing music, thank you. If you can give it permissions to see all your other Chrome tabs,
Okay.
and if it sees that a Chrome tab is playing audio, it will auto pause the music, and then if it stops playing audio, it will start playing it again.
Gotcha.
And the one problem I have at work is that my Pandora needs to be refreshed every hour, so that it says, "Are you still listening? You have to hit OK."
Gotcha.
And sometimes I'll sit in silence for like 4 hours working.
Because you just can't put away what you're currently doing to find that tab, and
Because I just don't think about it.
Gotcha.
So I just sit in silence. I'm like,
yeah.
I haven't heard a single audible thing in like 3 hours. And so I got the plugin now, and we're going to see if that changes anything in the mindset while I work,
Yeah.
so that there really is zero silence.
Gotcha.
But it's kind of cool. I did put in the zip code. That's as local as it gets, a zip code for weather.
Okay.
And it does change songs as the day progresses so far.
Okay.
So the music has continuously changed. And then it's been put on rainy weather because it's supposed to be raining here. So far it hasn't, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be kind of cool. It's the first music extension I saw
Mm-hmm.
that double checks to see if there's other things going on. Because sometimes I do just want to pull up a YouTube video and see a teardown of an HP laptop or something.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a big pain in the butt to have to go and
Find
turn
that
the music
tab,
off
yeah.
every time. And then I have to turn it back on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it auto pauses and plays when there's audio,
It's just convenient.
if you convenience.
Yeah.
Not saving power.
Speaking of saving power, we'll skip to 12.
Okay.
Ultra low power mode on the Google Pixel. We've talked a lot about the Google Pixel, specifically the Google Pixel 3a, which is the phone that I really need to get to replace this piece of junk.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
So I saw another article that we might just like.
Yeah, we can talk about that
Segue
after
into.
this. Apparently, Android is hinting at changes or hinting at a new feature, ultra low power mode for the Google Pixel phones. And here we go. We can read about it. Looks like this article from 9 to 5 Google, one of the complaints shared by reviewers of the Google Pixel 4 was its poor battery life.
Yep. So here's a bullet point list of everything that happens when you turn battery saver on.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
one of those green links near the top
Gotcha.
in like the first paragraph.
A handful of improvements.
So what changes when you turn the battery saver on? So I always have my battery saver on for my Galaxy
Yeah.
through Android. Apps only refresh their content like email or news when you look at the app, which I do notice that I don't get any email notifications on my phone unless I open up the email app and it's just ding, 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 ding. And then they all get deleted because like it's super weird.
Okay.
Location services stop when your screen is off. I do notice that because if I'm doing Google Maps and I try to turn up the volume with my gloves on, sometimes I'll hit the power button on the other side of my phone.
Gotcha.
And then I have to take my glove off and unlock the phone again.
Okay.
And it jumps on Google Maps. So that is right there. I know
Okay.
that. Apps stop doing things in the background unless you turn off battery optimization. And I think that's a good thing, that apps shouldn't be doing things in the background. Your phone stops listening for OK Google. Sorry. Instead, you need to squeeze your phone or tap the assistant icon. So this is one thing I do not like, because I can't activate voice on the motorcycle with gloves with battery saver on.
Gotcha.
I wish I could have
It'd be nice if there was a toggle,
Yeah.
like for each of these different things.
Yeah, and like, yeah, battery saver mode. What do you want to save battery with?
Yeah.
Because I really do like using the voice activation when I'm in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, can I just skip this song, please? Dark theme turns on, which is always great. That should always be on anyways. Your phone and notifications may be delayed. I think that's just because it's not trying to push notifications as often to save battery. And then if you have the Pixel 4, it turns off motion sense. And that's like using the camera, I guess, from what this little blue text is. Learn how to control your Pixel without touching it.
Gotcha.
I assume that's what that is. I've seen a couple of videos on motion sense. It was pretty cool.
Okay.
Turn off car crash detection. I might be willing to risk 2% battery
Yeah.
for car crash detection. That's the same with like fall detection or
Yeah, which we've seen on the Apple Watch.
turns off smooth display. That's completely fine. If you could drop me down to like 12 FPS, I would not mind a bit.
And so these are the things that are already existing in the battery saver.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, there's more. So one of the things that Samsung does, an extra thing that Samsung does, is an emergency mode, which is a setting which puts your screen into grayscale mode. So not color, it's kind of like black and white with some grays thrown in there. It disables Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and disables non-essential apps, guaranteeing you more hours of battery life. So I guess you can probably still call and text, but turns off Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and keeps non-essential apps from doing stuff in the background. And then apparently there was some kind of new code change spotted by someone about an ultra-low power mode, which this code change was added by a developer working on the Google Pixel team. So they're thinking that it's got to do with the Google Pixel 4, but it looks like nothing's really been confirmed or really talked about. But there may be some kind of ultra low power mode that has even more battery saving features than what already exists.
I would be totally down for not even black and white, but like black and gray, like Google Maps and such.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I hate is that I use my Bluetooth and Google Maps at the same time all the time together.
Yeah.
And I'll get in the car at like 84% battery, and then I'll get out of the car and it will literally be 2%, 3% battery.
Are you charging your battery at that time?
No. So the problem, which I fixed today, which is great, is that my charger jack is bad. So even vibrations in the car is enough to wiggle it just enough loose.
Gotcha.
So today I installed a wireless charger in the car.
Oh, wow.
Full mount, so I can mount it, so I can have the map right there beside me. I can wirelessly charge it, so I won't get out of the car with literally 2 or 3% battery.
I've actually experienced my MacBook at work going down in battery power while it's charging.
While it's charging. I think just meant like in general.
Because the stuff we're using is so resource intensive that it's actually using more power than it's able to charge at.
Which is ridiculous to think.
Yeah. So the MacBook is super convenient. It has USB-C, which plugs into the monitor. So I have one cable running from the monitor to the laptop, and that throws display over to the monitor, and it also charges the laptop.
So are you doing dual screen?
Yeah, I'm actually doing 3 screens. So I have 2 cables.
Okay.
2 USB-C cables that just plug in right there on the laptop. So each day when I get to work, throw the MacBook down and plug 2 cables in. But the power that comes from the monitors, there's less power coming from that than there would be from an actual charger.
Okay.
So if I had a dedicated charger, it would push out like 85 watts.
Yeah.
Whereas the charger puts out 65 watts. And using 2 chargers doesn't boost it any. So I've experienced...
That's amazing.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Because most people think that would be something wrong with the computer.
Yeah. But I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Yeah. It's crazy. And it doesn't go down much, but just a little bit. Or it stays about constant. Yeah. Like if I plug it in at 80%, it pretty much stays there the rest of the day. It's insane. Anyway, don't know how we got on that topic. I guess we were talking about battery.
So we were talking about the new Google
yes,
Pixel
the
features.
Yeah.
I saw this article. Google's Pixel
yes.
4 and Pixel 4 XL are dropping $200.
So they're what, like $500 now?
So the base model is $600, I believe. Yep. The cheapest is $600.
Pixel 3a it is.
Yeah. So the interesting thing I thought about this, we're going to get off my screen before I click the link. Just in case. Yeah, that was a good just in case. There's my address. We'll go down here. Is the price history on this?
Okay.
Double check everything. Cool. So this shows you the Amazon price history, and really we are only interested in this yellow one because that's the actual Amazon pricing.
The rest is like used or whatever.
So it's dropped right here to, I can't point, but right there, the $5.99.
Yeah.
It used to be $6.99. But then over here at the beginning of December, near the holidays, like Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Gotcha.
Is what this was right here.
Yeah.
It was also $600. So I really wouldn't call it a sale. More of like it's returning to an old sale price.
Yeah.
I mean, it is $100 cheaper, but it's not the $200. I would argue it's not the $200 that they're advertising, just because there's a couple spikes of $200.
Yeah. So if you're wanting value, probably Pixel 3a. But if you're wanting a flagship phone, the newest flagship phone, it's not a terrible price. I mean,
yeah.
For me, it's kind of terrible. But
yeah, I'm not spending that much on the phone.
If that was for the latest gaming PC, I'd be all over it. But for a phone, not so much. Speaking of spending a lot of money, something that cost a lot more money than buying a Google Pixel 4.
But did you know that
space flight?
The first man got on the moon with a lot less computing power than what's in your pocket?
They say.
Everybody says that. We understand.
No. Everybody says they use less computing power. Most people say that he got to the moon.
Yeah.
Some people disagree.
The first crewed SpaceX flight could happen around May 7th. February, March, April. 3 months.
Yes.
Had to count that one out for you. Crew Dragon will launch with passengers sometime this spring.
That's crazy. That'd be pretty big.
Does it say where they're going?
I guess probably just in orbit, maybe to the International Space Station. It says it's been almost a year since the Crew Dragon achieved one major milestone, which was reaching the ISS, the International Space Station. So obviously it was unmanned if this would be their first manned flight. Probably delivered supplies to the astronauts like food or something like that. And in January, SpaceX completed, wow, that was last month. SpaceX completed Crew Dragon's in-flight launch escape test, which proved that the capsule can break away from the Falcon 9 rocket if something goes wrong and land in the Atlantic if necessary during launch. And then SpaceX has also successfully completed a round of engine tests without any explosions, which is great if you're one of the astronauts who's about to be on this thing.
Yeah.
Explosions would be like, not good, basically.
So here's the question. How many tests would you do? How much money do you put into the R&D of not exploding a rocket for 3 rocket astronauts? Because you're not going to sink, $72 billion into 3 people. Sorry, 3 people.
You might. They probably already have.
Yeah. You think that they're worth in the billions? How much money should you invest into ensuring that one person in particular stays alive?
You can't really insure it. At the end of the day, I mean, they know they're taking a risk, and they're willing to do it, obviously, if they're going to do it.
I would doubt they're forced.
Yeah. This is probably like their life stream, to be completely honest. Now, their life stream's not to explode.
Yeah. I don't think they're like, if I don't go on this space mission, I'm not going to be able to eat dinner the next 2 weeks.
I don't think that's the situation that they're in. So,
do you think it either like, screw the test, I want to go now. Let's go. It's safe enough. I played the sim.
The first people who go to Mars, they're probably going to die on Mars.
If they make it.
You know? But, well, we'll see if that ever... That'll
Would you
probably
want to be one
happen.
of the first people to go to Mars just to be one of the first people to die on Mars? You'll literally be remembered for the rest of human history as the
first person to go on Mars.
Now, would you commit suicide as soon as you got to Mars to make sure you
No.
were the first?
No. Wow, that got dark quick.
What would you do to submit your space as
Man,
the first person dead on Mars?
It'd be interesting if we go to Mars in like 40 years and Elon Musk is on that trip. Just to make the one-way trip. Wouldn't surprise, like, to be completely honest, it would not surprise me.
I could see it, maybe. If I
Yeah.
live that long. We'll try.
Pretty crazy to think about. But yeah, that'd be cool if SpaceX could get some people in the air. Well,
We flew through those.
there's a newer version of Google News, and it's all rubbish. Oh, did you see the change to the Google Maps icon?
I did. I hate it.
I could not find Google Maps to open it up. Yeah.
It went from something like that to something like that.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'll get used to it, but it looks ridiculous.
Yeah. It's very different from all the other Google icons too. Like, for example, the Gmail icon is square-ish, you know. It's not a complete square like the Google Maps icon was. I guess Chrome is a circle. The Play Store is a triangle. Okay, never mind. So I guess they're not mostly square. YouTube's kind of square-ish. Google Sheets is pretty square-ish. Google Docs is pretty square-ish. But some of them are circular.
Yeah, they're circular squares.
Google
not
Drive is triangle.
Yeah, they're all more geometric shapes and not the teardrop.
Teardrop, yeah. I guess they're kind of branching out. But yeah, the first day they changed it, I was having trouble finding Google Maps to open it up.
I didn't realize what the first icon. Because yeah, that's
To find the route to work.
It's like
the
one of
fastest
the
route to work.
brightest icons on my screen.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think that's pretty much everything.
That is everything I have. We need to start thinking about a 1-year anniversary video idea or something.
Like an intro video?
Like a gaming video or something. Or an intro video.
So we have an intro?
Yeah. Not just, and we're live.
Wait, we're live?
I hope.
I can't believe 1 year's almost here.
1 year's come and gone. Almost. Well, not yet, but soon.
It'll be super soon.
Speaking of next year, we'll see you next week.
If we're on time. Otherwise, you won't see us
Let's talk about that.
because we won't be on time.